for coming here to the Democratic Primary Forum. This is our 10th primary forum that we've held. We've been doing it since 2004. Tonight, once all the club heads are up here, I'll introduce them to you all. But just to give you a little heads up how we're doing this, it's going to be in ballot order, but alphabetically within ballot order. We are giving, certain candidates are getting 2 minutes and some are getting 1 minute. We will announce that before each race. And, is Christy Noble here by any chance? Has anybody seen her? Okay, she's not here. I am here today representing, you should come up and we'll just get them. I'm here representing today the North Texas Jewish Democratic Council. If you're interested in that club, there's a bunch of us here that are board members, and you all can raise your hands. Jacob, Adam, Marcy, me, Bob's also on the board. Come and talk to us about that. Helen. I know.
This is recorded.
And I'm gonna let Bob talk in one moment about the Far North Dallas Richardson Democrats.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you here on behalf of the Far North Dallas Richardson Democrats. Our group has also been around since 2004, although thanks to the pandemic, we've been kind of underground. But we hope to be getting back to meeting in person again, probably around March. And our primary focus is to win the Texas State House seats in Far North Dallas. That would be District 102 and District 112. That's the main focus. And we are also very issue-oriented, so most of our speakers will be talking about particular issues of interest to Democrats. Thank you. If you need any information about us, we're out there at the club's table.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here today. My name is Carrie Latcher. I'm a member of the leadership team of Women of Dallas Unite for Action. We call ourselves WUDYA, just makes it easier. Along with me today, there's also Barb Larkin, Ann Gallant, Kathy Schneider, and Betsy Kleinman. They probably checked you in, you talked to one of them. WUDYA is a political education advocacy and networking group helping to elect principled candidates to create a more just society, and we are thrilled to be a part of this event and to connect you to these awesome Democratic candidates. Thank you for being here.
Hi, my name is Carol Jablonski. I'm the president of the North Dallas, Texas Democratic Women. We're celebrating 20 years of our club being in existence this year. Our goals are to elect candidates in favor of choice. We work for all candidates, we raise money, we have programs of interest on Democratic issues. We're hoping to go back to meeting in person on the 4th Thursday of the month. We look forward to that. And we have fun too. We have a book club, we have a movie club, which we hope we can start up again. And thanks to all the candidates and everybody who's come to listen to them.
Without further ado, we're going to start with our first group of races. Since we're in ballot order, our first race is going to be U.S. Congress District 3. And you have, all the congressional candidates have 2 minutes to speak. Thank you. And watch the time, the timer's right over here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandeep Srivastava, and I'm running for U.S. Congress District 3, which is Collin County, and after gerrymandering, we have a Hunt County also. It's a time for a new leadership in Texas. I'm running because I understand that US is a pivotal point when Republicans are trying to hold Democrats back. We won't let them get away with this. I talk about women's rights. I am against abortion ban. I will be supporting and codifying Roe versus Wade. I support raising the minimum wage. I support to fix the broken immigration system. I am in support of affordable health care for all, criminal and justice reforms, voting rights, and making sure the corporations and offshore companies should pay their fair taxes in this country. When I talk about this, people call me progressive. Yes, if it is progressive, I am progressive. we don't need munchkins and Sonoma kind of Congress members or in the Congress who does not support Biden agenda. So we don't need these kind of people, and the choice is in your hand what you need. If you need a progressive or moderate guys who can flip the side. And so vote for me in the primary. I think if you know people in Collin County and Dallas County, please vote for me. Please visit my website. It's sandeepfortexas.com. My Facebook page, Sandeep for Congress. And help me, and we can say with the new slogan, me and you can make Texas blue. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kathleen Bailey, Democratic candidate for Congress from Texas 05. I'd like to tell you this morning something about myself and why I'm running for Congress. After earning a PhD in political science, I began my first job, my first real job, as an intelligence analyst for the US government, specializing in weapons of mass destruction programs in foreign countries, specifically nuclear, chemical, and biological. That enabled me to do a number of briefings to Congress and to the executive branch in Washington, where I became known enough to then be offered some positions with the State Department. I began working in the executive branch and served in two important positions, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State and also Assistant Director of the Arms Control and Disarmament Agency. In addition to time spent in Washington in the executive branch, I also was an educator and taught at universities and wrote textbooks for students on foreign affairs and arms control. After finishing working for a while as an educator, I decided with my husband we wanted to take a radical turn, so we decided to become farmers. We bought 4 acres of land, and for 10 years, we produced organic fruits and vegetables for the local market. It was a very enlightening experience, and we think I think that this kind of experience is highly relevant to many of the things that Congress grapples with today. I have a passion for public policy, ranging from issues for women's choice to agriculture to foreign policy to health and economics. I hope that you will consider my candidacy favorably and support me in whatever way you can. Thank you very much.
The next race is Congressional District 24.
Hello, my name is Kathy Fragnoli. I'm running for Texas 24. This is my first election. I know time is flying by in slow motion, and I know we all feel it. And I appreciate all you being here today to work on volunteering and listening to the candidates today. This election is a call to action for all of us. Mr. Trump is living rent-free in our heads at this point. The DNC said on January 6th that the acts of January 6th are normal discourse, and the Secretary of State is out of paper. So we have a lot of challenges in front of us. As I said, I'm a first-time candidate. I'm a mediator. I've been a mediator helping businesses and individuals resolve disputes for 27 years. I think what Washington is missing is the ability to bridge divides and to speak to one another with respect and to get the job done, and I think I can help with that. Thank you.
Hello, I first want to say thank you for everyone who put this together. I know it's a lot of work, so I appreciate all your efforts there. I'm Derek Gay. I'm running for Texas 24. Just a little bit about me. After our country was attacked on 9/11, I signed up and joined the Marine Corps on an ROTC scholarship and became the first of my family to graduate from college. I spent 13 years total in a career that took me to Iraq, throughout Asia, and then in the reserves, I activated for Hurricane Harvey relief when that hit Houston. But I got out of the Marines to go to Northwestern. I went to both law and business school there. And after 3 cold winters there, my wife promptly told me that we were moving south and headed back to Dallas. So she went to SMU for her school. So got down here, I was working in operations. I was working night shift at Amazon at a warehouse in South Dallas. I saw firsthand a lot of families that only were working night shift because they also had a daytime job. So it shouldn't be that hard to succeed in this economy. It shouldn't be where you have to work around the clock just to make ends meet. But I left that job and went to become an attorney, so I've been a tax attorney now for a few years. And was in the reserves until 2020 when I was medically discharged. And for me, everything changed on January 6th. I had taken an oath to defend the Constitution, and when I saw the attack on the Capitol that day, I was appalled to see my representative, Beth Van Duyne, still vote to overturn a free and fair election. Fail to put country over party when her country really needed her to do so. She had the opportunity to bring us together, but once again, she proved she was unfit to lead. She proved that she's a fear-mongering, divisive politician. And what I've seen in my career, both in the military and the civilian sector, is that the best leaders that I've ever served under, they use hope and optimism to bring us together. They want to present a picture for a brighter future. I believe we face a lot of challenges, both in this district and in this country as we slip further into autocracy. But I believe we'll meet those challenges. I believe our best days are ahead of us, and we need to elect people that are servant-based leaders, that are dedicated to serving the country and not bettering their own careers. So thank you so much for your time.
Hi, the statewide candidates that are here, would you come to the front to be ready to go up?
Hello, thank you to the sponsors for today. I know how much hard work is involved in putting together an event like this. I'm Jan McDowell, candidate for Congress District 24. I've lived around here since I was 8 years old, growing up in Richardson and now having lived in Carrollton for the past 40+ years. I know this area and I'll be proud to represent it in Washington. I'm a retired CPA. Looking at budgeting and common sense financial decisions are things I do. Somebody needs to be doing that in Washington. I'm convinced that everyone will benefit when everyone can participate and have an opportunity to succeed in America. What I don't want to be a description of life in America is the title of a Sarah Smarsh book, Working Hard and Being Broke in America, in the richest country on earth. We can do better. I proudly agree with the Dallas Morning News assessment of me. They said that I proposed vaccine mandates and described climate change as a house on fire emergency. They said it like those were bad things, but I'd say they're spot on. I'm the progressive candidate in this race. That means that when I'm in Congress, you can count on me to vote in the best interests of my kids and grandkids and yours too. I won't be worried about keeping moderate donors happy and their donations flowing. If voters like what I'm able to do and want to vote to re-elect me, that'll be great, but it won't be the North Star guiding my votes. As the candidate who came within 3 points of winning this seat in 2018, I've been building name recognition, goodwill, and relationships all across this district for several years. When there's so much on the line, I'm the candidate who gives us the best chance to beat Beth Van Duyne. I hope to earn your support and your vote. Thank you.
Okay, the next race is Lieutenant Governor. Letta, are you doing Michael Cooper's video? Governor. Collier is not here yet. If he comes, we understand with the weather and COVID that things, we'll certainly let him speak, but he's not here. Okay. So it's all right. We'll move on to Attorney General.
Is that the next race? Yeah, any candidates here for attorney?
Come on up. Or down, however you want to say it. Yeah.
Shall I?
Huh?
Shall I begin?
Yes.
Yes, greetings. All right, North Dallas, here we are in Richardson. Joe Jaworski running to be your next Texas Attorney General. I'll be 60 on March 1st. The date of the primary is my birthday, so I'm asking for a birthday gift that I'll never forget. I am a 31-year experienced Texas trial lawyer. I've tried and litigated hundreds of cases in federal and state court, a full-time mediator and former mayor of Galveston. And I always want to remember my dear grandfather, Leon Jaworski, the Watergate special prosecutor, who left us with his legacy that no man is above the law. Now, he uttered those words in the United States Supreme Court, referring to Richard Nixon, of course, but the words apply to Ken Paxton as well. My campaign is to remove Mr. Paxton from the Texas Attorney General's office, the consequential office. With my 1 minute left, I want you to remember one thing I pledged to you. I will take the ashes of Ken Paxton's fake voter integrity unit, and I will turn it into General Joe Jaworski's voter access unit. Because you ought to be able to count on the government when your voting rights are being trod upon. One thing in particular, and our youth will save us, in combination with all of us. Did you know that there is a law in the books that they have yet to erase? Texas Election Code 13.046D as in David, which requires every principal in every high school in Texas, public, private, charter, religious, to offer registration to each senior attaining the age of 18 twice a year. Your next Texas Attorney General will send a kind but firm letter. Dear Principal, this is your Attorney General, Joe Jaworski. Please do confirm receipt of this letter and advise us the 2 dates that you will be offering registration, because we'll be there to celebrate. Imagine if we can stoke the same civic zeal at age 18 that they feel when it's time to get the driver's license 2 years earlier. Thank you. I'm Joe Jaworski.
And just checking, is Mike Fields here? Okay.
Okay, we want to do the Attorney General. Huh? We've got Garza. Okay, go ahead, Glenna.
We did allow some of our statewide candidates, because of the difficulty in traveling with COVID and all, to submit videos, only the statewide. So we do have a video here that we're going to play for, who is it?
Rochelle Mercedes Garza.
Rochelle Mercedes Garza.
General to fight for Texas working families, to be your Texas Attorney General. But first, let me tell you about my own working family. I'm the daughter of 2 public school teachers who taught me to work hard and that everyone deserves dignity and respect. And those values started at home. My oldest brother, Robbie, experienced a brain injury during childbirth and grew up with disabilities. I saw how hard my parents worked for him, just like so many Texas families. I learned that our family's health depended on all of us being okay. And so that's why I focused my career on fighting for people that have been counted out, overlooked, and left behind. Because the health of our communities depend on every member being okay. I've practiced immigration, family, criminal defense, and civil rights law. I know what it's like to fight for individuals in Texas courts, and I know how to build a case that reinforces reproductive rights across the country. My work has had broad impacts, like the Garza Notice, a requirement that teens in immigration detention have a right to access abortion care, and also meaningful individual impacts, like helping trans clients acquire name and gender marker changes that affirm who they are. As an expecting mother, I want to ensure that my daughter grows up with freedom to determine her own course in life, to marry who she loves, to decide if, when, or how to become a parent, and to grow up in a clean, safe environment. And I'm ready to take on Ken Paxton and roll back the harm that he's done to our families. Because everyone deserves a fair shot to get ahead.
Hello, I'm Joe Jaworski.
Okay, our next, we have a couple more here. Lee Merrick.
And I want to say I want to introduce myself. Although our family roots can be traced back to San Angelo, Texas, and for the region represented the state's westernmost border, guarded by the Buffalo soldiers. I'm born again, Texas, purchasing my first home in McKinney, where I raised my 4 children, and I'm family dog Douglas. I'm a former school teacher. I taught American history. I joined the Dallas Independent School District as a recruiter, which allowed me to crisscross this great state in hopes of drawing the nation's best and brightest into the classroom to help build the future. After graduating Temple Law School, I became a member of the plaintiff bar, practicing in the area of civil litigation and workers' compensation. But it was in the federal courts where I found my passion for fighting to enforce the laws my heroes had fought to secure. I'm a proud member of the 4 million Texans that arrived to this great state in the last 10 years. I launched my national civil rights practice in Dallas, Texas, in order to confront the attack on civil liberties by Texas state actors, using the protections offered by federal law. My practice has gained international notoriety for combating governmental abuse and advocating for community empowerment. I'm a fighter that has repeatedly stood up to Republican bullies and won. Considering the historic attack on people's rights by Texas Republicans, traced back to San Angelo, Texas, back when the region represented the state's westernmost border, guarded by Buffalo soldiers.
It started.
I'm born again Texas. First,
Keep further.
I'm a fighter that has repeatedly stood up to Republican bullies and won.
Further. Like there.
As your next Texas Attorney General.
Do we have any, are there any other Attorney General tapes?
Hello, my name is Tim Mahoney, and I'm a candidate for Texas.
Okay. Okay, do we have any tapes for Lieutenant Governor? Videos? No, okay. Any more, no more videos for Attorney General, then let's go on to Controller of Public Accounts. We have Tim Mahoney's here? Oh,
Controller.
that's him,
I
okay.
decided to run for controller last.
Do we have anyone for Controller in person? Oh, let's let, Janet speak.
Here.
She's here, okay.
As I was witnessing the Texas legislature just make a mockery of democracy and redistricting, amongst other things. And the controller, as a member of the Texas Redistricting Board, should have had a much more active role in the redistricting process. I plan to talk to people around the state about what the controller could have done and the advantages of compact districts where voters can get in the habit of electing their representatives and not having their representatives choose their voters. I have a background in journalism, public affairs, and I've been a practicing attorney for the last 30 years. And so I've been around the block a time or two, and my website is timmahoneycampaign.org. And if you'd like a copy of the press release we recently did on the redistricting process and why it should impact, contact us at communitytexas@gmail.com. Thanks. Tim Mahoney, your controller. Bye-bye.
Okay, next we're gonna have Janet Dunning, also running for Controller, speaking.
Howdy y'all, I'm Janet Dunning and I am a Texas Democratic woman. I'm president of the Texas Democratic Women of the Brazos Valley, and I'm also running for Comptroller of Public Accounts. And if there was ever an elected office who was made for someone like me, this one may be it. The Comptroller is the state's accountant. As a single mom, I averaged 20 hours a semester to earn my accounting degree. Graduated, started working for the state auditor's office, threw myself into my MBA and became a CPA. But I'm a different kind of CPA. Most people, when they hear that I'm a CPA, they immediately start asking me income tax questions. I'm not that kind of CPA. That first job out of school, that was working with the state auditor's office, investigating allegations that elected officials were embezzling money or taking kickbacks. I did that. I helped lay the groundwork for Operation Pretense, which put over 50 crooked politicians in prison for procurement fraud. I went on to audit cities and counties and school districts and then manage cities and counties and state agencies. It's my life's work. I've spent my entire adult life holding governments and governmental officials accountable. I think that's the kind of CPA we need as our comptroller. But what do we have right now? We've got Glenn Hager, who seems to be a product of the system that he's trying to keep honest. And what are we left with? No accountability for spending $100 million more to not insure 1.4 Texans, $2 billion to mistreat our Texas National Guard on the border, and no accountability for the 26 million Texans who pay their tax dollars and expect good stewardship. I'm running for comptroller of public accounts. My website is janetdudding4texas.com. I'd appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
My name is Angel Luis Vega. I am running for Texas Control. I am running for office because, like many of us, I do not feel comfortable with our current situation. The spread of misinformation, how Republicans can create hate and division, how they suppress our votes and our voices. It's unacceptable. I want to demonstrate that we can do better. I am committed to serving with integrity, compassion, and sense of purpose. I am a purpose-driven professional with over 20 years in business strategy, banking, operations, and no-profit organizations. My expertise is in innovation, revenue strategy, managing large markets, improving efficiencies, and building successful teams. I also have a bachelor's and a master's degree in administration and management. We are going to win the general election by offering a clear message, leading by example, promoting unity and not hate, holding them accountable. We will organize a strong and multilingual grassroots organization to do voter registration, attract underrepresented community to vote, knock on doors, talk to the people directly, and leverage technology. Finally, at the Comptroller's office, it will ensure the financial stability of the state to fund public safety and services. I will focus on transparency, accountability, and optimizing the office capability to improve the taxpayers' experience, attract new revenue sources, reduce business and consumer fraud. I want to invite you to visit angelovega.com to learn more about our campaign. I am counting with your vote and support. Thank you very much for your time, and looking forward to meeting all of you in person. Bye.
Thank you. Yep. Our next candidates are going to be from the Commissioner of the General Land Office. Our first candidate is Jay Kleberg.
Don't clap too loud. My name is Jay Kleberg, and I'm running to be your next Texas Land Commissioner. I've dedicated my life to preserving and protecting the land, water, and wildlife of the state of Texas. And what I can tell you in the last 20 years of that experience is that everything that we love is at risk due to climate change and mismanagement of the General Land Office. We are leading in all the wrong categories. We're #1 in CO2 emissions in the nation. We lead the nation in billion-dollar natural disasters. And Dallas and other cities in the state of Texas will see a doubling of 100-degree days in the next decade. And this office has been mismanaged and misused and has been a stepping stone for the last 20 years. $0 in $14 billion worth of natural disaster relief funds are backed up. $0 to the city of Houston and Harris County in the wake of Harvey. We have seen our grid fail and a lack of diversification of our energy portfolio, 13 million acres underneath the General Land Office, and a doubling of death rate in Texas veterans' homes under the purview of the General Land Office, a doubling of the death rate of other nursing homes in the state of Texas. And what I can tell you is, in that all of that work and that everything I've done, that we should be leading in the low-emission future. That we have the ability to store carbon in the submerged lands off the state coast, 700 years worth of Texas industrial carbon emissions. We can utilize carbon sequestration. We have 174 million acres of land in the state, and we should be diversifying our energy portfolio. What I'm asking is for your vote and for your support, because I know that I can do this job and I know that I can get the job done right. We have been supported by many Democratic leaders, Cecile Richards, Wendy Davis, Tejano Democrats, and others around the state, the Sierra Club, and I appreciate your vote and support. Thank you.
Just a reminder, you can see also on the timer on the computer laptop. Oh, Lena? He's here.
Good afternoon, and it's wonderful to be in Richardson, and sunny Richardson rather than icy Richardson. My name is Michael Lang, and I'm running for Texas Land Commissioner. Wherever I go, El Paso, Harlingen, they ask me one thing. Michael, why are you running for Texas Land Commissioner? Is it because you are the son of working class immigrants? Is it because you started working for the Democratic Party at age 16? Is it because you grew up in Houston but also in rural Texas? You understand how rural people live as well as city people? Is it you have 40 years of leadership in small and large businesses that actually works and gets things done? Is it the fact that you're responsible for 13 million acres of land, 13 million football fields, 1.4 million Texas veterans, 1,200 miles of Texas coastland against all natural disasters, 1.6 million visitors to the Alamo a year, a budget of $3.4 billion with 800 people. And because you can do that job well with your experience, and you can get it done, and from day one you can be effective. Is that why you are running for Texas Land Commissioner? And I say, I'm running for one reason. I want to stop the Republicans from winning in November of 2022. I have seen in the last 4 years what's happened, the assault on Texas women. My mother is a teacher. I've got 3 sisters, all are teachers. I've seen the assault on the rights of Texas women. I've seen the voting rights assault on all Texans. I've seen Texas veterans being mistreated by the state board that's supposed to take care of them. I'm Michael Lang. I can get the job done from day one. I'm Michael Lang. I'm running because I want to stop the Republicans from winning in November. And I am the candidate that can actually get that done for you. It's been 28 years. It's time. Thank you very much. I'm Michael Lang, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
We have one more candidate via video.
Hello, my name is Jenny Sue, and I'm running for Texas Land Commissioner, and I'm asking for your support. I'm the only Asian American running statewide in Texas, and if elected, I would be the first woman land commissioner that Texas has ever seen. I also have a great deal of experience that prepares me for this job. I'm a licensed attorney, a former teacher, a former PTA leader, a small business owner, and a working mom to 2 small kids aged 5 and 9. I'm also the founder and leader of Immunize Texas, so I've been at the Texas State Capitol for the past 6 years, fighting for better public health care policy for all Texans. I'm also the child of working class Korean immigrants. I know what it's like to grow up without health insurance, to be treated as an other by my community, and I also watched my parents lose their plant nursery business when droughts ravaged our small rural town. It's because of that experience that I know climate change is real. And what we need from our next Texas Land Commissioner is not only someone that treats facts as facts and not as opinions, but someone that can bring together science and business interests and use their vision and backbone to take action and put policies in place to make sure that Texas gets in front of climate change while also protecting our economy. Now, it's my experience, my leadership skills, and my integrity that make me the best person to run in the primary election and as well in the general election. I can also relate to people and their struggles, and it's because of that that I believe people will come out to vote because they want to see representation that reflects who they are. Diversity is important to our state. 95% of our growth in the past 10 years has come from people of color, and it's time that we see candidates and elected officials that look like us. So again, my name is Jenny Sue, and I'm running for
The next statewide race we have is Commissioner of Agriculture. And we have 1 video, 2 videos.
Thank you so much.
We have 2 videos for that.
Hi, my name is Ed Iverson, and I'm running for the Commissioner of Agriculture. First off, I want to thank everyone in the North Dallas Democratic Women Group for giving me the opportunity to speak with y'all today. I'm a businessman, a new father, and a proud Texan, which is why I'm running with a focus on the next generation of Texans. I was born in Houston. My family has been running cattle for 130 years in Brazos County. Let's talk about what the Department of Agriculture actually does. First, it's school meal programs. We need our kids to have a healthy, well-rounded meal so that they can be ready and focused to learn. If you're hungry, it's hard to focus on your schoolwork. Next, when our kids come home from school, they need to have equitable internet access no matter where they live across this great state. They need to be able to do homework, do research, take tests. This past year has made it even more evident. We're leaving our rural communities behind with our rural internet infrastructure. And then finally, we need somebody, an ag commissioner, who's going to be a cheerleader for Texas agriculture. Our children need to know that they can get a good job in agriculture. They don't have to move to the big city just to make it better. In November, I think voters are looking for something different. They want somebody who's going to come in and work to serve all Texans with integrity, honesty, and transparency. I'll leave you with my personal motto, which is work hard, tell the truth, and look out for your neighbor. My name is Ed Iverson, for Texas Ag Commissioner. Thank you.
I'm Susan Hayes, and I'm running for Texas Agriculture Commissioner. I've done the work for our democratic values. On reproductive rights, I co-founded Jane's Due Process, and I've represented Texas teenagers facing unplanned pregnancy for decades. On voting rights, in 2018, I co-chaired the voter protection effort for Beto's campaign and the state Democratic Party. In 2020, I represented the Harris County Clerk in dozens of lawsuits filed by the Republicans every time we did anything to make it easier and safer to vote during the pandemic. I also am a cannabis lawyer, and as part of that work, I helped draft and pass the law that legalized hemp in Texas. And that's what led me to working with the Department of Agriculture. And I gotta tell you, I was just appalled at the levels of incompetency and open and notorious corruption I saw. That's what motivated me to run for this office. As Agriculture Commissioner, I will bring the agency back to working for Texas farmers, ranchers, and consumers, from rural Texas to the urban areas. On the short-term goals, I want to bring the Rural Hospital Program, the Rural Economic Development Program, out of the basement and back to working for Texas. And my big picture goal for the future, move Texas to sustainable agriculture to combat climate change. I'm the candidate to win that office this November because of my decades of legal and political experience, and also because I was raised in rural Texas and am living there again. I'm the one who can relate to those voters that we need for victory in November. I appreciate your support and your vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for all the statewide who came in person and the ones that submitted videos. Our next group of candidates are going to be running for state senate or state representative, and if you're running for state rep, I just encourage you to come down because you'll be up there soon. Everybody gets 2 minutes to speak, and we're going to start out with, we have one state senator candidate here, Francine Lee, running for state senate, District 12.
Hello, my name is Francine Lee. I'm running for Texas Senate District 12, and I would appreciate your support on March 1st in the Democratic primary. I have been a precinct chair, a SDEC member representing the Asian American community since 2011. I was a legislative staff for Honorable Dale Tillery from 95 to 2003. I'm a court coordinator for the 134th District Court. Once I'm elected as your senator, you'll have both the legislative and judicial perspective. Thank you.
Okay, State Representative HD 70, we'll start with Cassandra, is she here? Okay, then Mahalia. Sorry.
While she's going up to the podium, if candidate has a problem, we screwed something up, you can email me, Carol Jablonski at att.net, and we will try and figure out what went wrong, okay? I mean, we did a lot of work, we tried to do it the best we could, but we will make it right if we made a mistake.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for coming. My name is Mihaela Plisa and I'm running to be your next state representative from House District 70, the new district in Collin County that's made up of North Dallas, Plano, Allen, and Richardson. I am the daughter of immigrants and the product of North Texas. I have never lived anywhere else but here. I am a graduate from the University of North Texas, where I received a degree in political science, and I went on to SMU to receive a political science degree, a master's degree in political science. After college, I went to work with women here in North Texas to help them build their small businesses. I have marched, I have advocated, and I have protested for my community. And in 2016, something changed. I realized that the activism, the protesting, and the marching that we have been doing wasn't enough. We were not being heard in Austin. So I quit my job at a small business and took my 2 political science degrees down to Austin, where I took an unpaid internship position as a Capitol staffer to learn how to craft and pass legislation. In the last 5 years, I have passed over a dozen pieces of legislation through a Republican majority legislature. A bill like Proposition 8 that give a property tax exemption to our Gold Star families, and a bill that requires attorneys that handle our foster care cases to be trained in trauma-informed care. Now that I have experience and a record of success to run on, I know that I can represent the constituents of House District 70 on day one. And I'm proud to say that my campaign has earned the endorsement of the Plano area Democrats and the Richardson area Democrats this weekend. That is the kind of momentum that I hope to bring on Election Day on March 1st. To learn more about me or my campaign, please visit my website at plisa4texas.com, at plisa4texas at all the socials, and I encourage you all to come vote in 1 week. I will see you guys at the polls, and I hope to earn your vote in March. Thank you so much.
Our next candidate is Lorenzo Sanchez, running in the same race. Collin County House District 70. It's basically a newly drawn Democratic district.
Yes, hello everybody. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. My name is Lorenzo Sanchez. I am running for Texas's House District 70 in Collin County, pieces of Plano, Dallas, Allen, and Richardson. I am a first-generation Mexican-American who was raised in this district by a single mother who raised me and my sister and instilled the values of service to me. I was the Democratic nominee for this seat in 2020, or a portion of this seat since it has been newly redrawn, and this seat is going to be one of the most competitive seats we have left in our state. It's going to be so important that whoever we nominate is able to engage Democratic voters and get volunteers excited about the possibilities that we have at flipping Collin County, this seat, and then our nation. During the 2020 race, we were fortunate enough to raise the most money out of any other Texas House Democrat in the history of our state, and that was done with small individual contributors donating small amounts to make sure that they kept our race viable against an incumbent who was so entrenched that he also spent more money against me than any other campaign. I've been battle tested. I've had everything thrown at me, and I'm ready to make sure that we bring real representation down to Austin. I want to also say that I'm privileged to have earned more endorsements than both of our competitors combined. We just recently got recommended by the Dallas Morning News to their readers as the campaign that has the most knowledge about going down to Austin, doing a good job, but also Democratic chances at winning this seat in November. I need your help. We've built a base of support in Collin County, but we need to continue to build on those numbers. We cannot rest on the fact that this seat went for a few hundred votes to the Democratic side. We need to go and make sure that we register voters at the door, talk to every single voter, and get them out to the polls. Again, my name is Lorenzo Sanchez. I would appreciate your support for Texas House District 70.
Thank you. I'm going to take a second right here because this is something I forgot to do at the beginning of the program. We have some elected officials here who won't be speaking, and I want to recognize them, and candidates who do not have primary opponents. I'm going to start right here with Adam Sports, who's running.
It's Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3, Place 1 in North Dallas.
I also want to recognize City Councilwoman Jamie Schultz, who's here, represents my councilwoman. And I'm sure there's other people here, and I'm not sure who they are, so stand up and announce yourself, please. They're elected.
State Representative running Andrews Valley, running for House District 113.
Anyone who's not going to be speaking later on, who's here? Elva.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Ginsburg. I am running for House District 108, which is kind of the North Dallas area. First of all, I want to thank this wonderful coalition of organizations that has put this on today. They work tirelessly to make sure voters are informed, so thank you very much for doing that. I'm running for this seat because this is a district that needs strong, effective leadership that rejects the partisan extremism and anti-intellectualism that the Republican Party is peddling right now. When this district was drawn during redistricting, the Republican down in Highland Park got to pick his voters. And I will tell you what, he underestimated this community. I know this community. I've lived here for more than 25 years. My husband and I raised our 2 daughters here. I'm also an attorney. I have an office kind of on the edge of the district over off Lovers Lane, so a lot of my clients live in this area. I've also been working to get Democrats elected since 2006. That means talking to voters, getting the work done. I've also served as a precinct chair and served on the Senate District Executive platforms for Senate District 16 on platform and resolutions. I know the ideas and I know what this community is talking about. I know that this is a community of moderates. This is a community that rejects extremism and it rejects the hyper partisanship and anti-intellectualism that we're hearing. So I'm asking for your vote. I commit to you that I will work to defend our democracy by making voting easier and protecting the ballot box and rejecting extremism. I also commit to working to expand Medicaid so more people in our community have access to health care. I will work to restore a woman's right to control her reproductive health. And I will work to, thank you, yes, absolutely. On public education, I will work to fully fund our system of constitutionally mandated public education and also make sure that our curriculum is guided by science and facts, not fear in politics. I'm asking for your vote. I've earned the endorsement of the Dallas Morning News among many other clubs. I'm asking, your vote is the vote that counts. I'm asking for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Freda Heald, and I am running for the Texas State House of Representatives for House District 108. I grew up in the district and raised my 5 children here. Graduated from Highland Park High School and the University of Texas at Austin. There are 3 reasons that I am running for this. First of all, education. We need to fully fund our schools and pay our teachers and support staff what they need to be paid. And we need every child, whether they're in District 108, Dallas, or Texas, deserves a quality public school education. And we need to really focus on all children with learning differences as 3 of my children have dyslexia, and so do I. This is a great concern to me. One of the second reason that I'm running, not in more as important as education, is a woman's right to choose her reproductive rights. So I feel very strongly about this, have been working with Planned Parenthood for so many years, and I am running because we need to repeal SB 8. If I got to Austin, I would be working on that. The other reason is voting rights. It is so important. Your voice at the ballot box and the restrictions that we have now, we have to change them. We need to be having 24-hour voting. We need to be having extended hours for early voting. And everybody deserves a right at the ballot box. So, I've been a precinct chair. I am the mother of 5 grown children, 2 grandchildren, and I feel so strongly, education, a woman's right to choose, and our voting rights. Please vote for me. Early voting starts February 14th. Our primary is March 1st. Freda Hill for Texas. And if I get the nomination, I will work so hard to unseat Morgan Meyer. Thank you so much.
Our next race is going to be State Representative, House District 113, and State Representative Rheta Bowers is going to be speaking.
Good afternoon, and thank you. Thank you for those little claps, because I want to say little claps and little snaps all matter. I am State Representative Rheta Andrews Bowers, and I am the current member serving House District 113 that has now changed and is now just Rowlett, Garland, and Mesquite. When I accepted the call to service, it was based on 5 times being asked to run. I'm a true statistic. I moved to the district not planning at all to be a representative for the people that I serve. But it has been an honor of a lifetime, only second to mothering my own children. And I want to say to the many candidates that are in here, it takes standing side by side. Being in a minority is truth in accepting and appreciating small gains and small victories. The one thing that I am proudest of out of last session during the 87th, the most horrible session in the Texas legislature, was that I was one of the first to walk out in May. Now, another thing that I'm proud of, thank you. Another thing that I'm very proud of is when I saw CRT and the 1619 project as the Secretary of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus, I was running around the floor, getting my colleagues up and saying, we cannot let this come to the floor. They will not be able to erase us. I have said many times that it takes more than one session to pass good legislation. When you're in a minority, 83 to 67, you have to use every tool in the tool shed, and that's what we did. They said we turned our backs, and we didn't. I'm ready to go back and file the Texas Crown Act. I was the author of HB 392 to reduce and to eradicate racial discrimination when it comes to hair-based race discrimination. Every legislative session that I have had the opportunity to take a racial discussion to the House, and I will be taking that back. It is about stopping racism, and that's what I'm going to do, and I ask for your support. Thank you.
Our next race is going to be State Representative HD 114. I only see 2 candidates here. Do we have any other candidates here? Oh, okay, we have. Okay. I guess based on, I don't see John Ryan or Charlie Gearing. So, Alexandra, you're next. No, we're doing it actually alphabetical. Okay.
And you have 2 minutes. I'm short, so I always have to put the microphone down. Good afternoon. My name is Alexandra Guillo, and I'm a proud Democratic candidate for House District 114. Thank you to all the organizations who put this together. I know it's a lot of work, and thank you to all of you who are here. It means you are committed to your community. I'm the first attorney in my family. I am from Bogota, Colombia. I moved here when I was 4 with my 2 older sisters for a chance at the American dream. Around middle school, my visa expired and I grew up undocumented, but my parents emphasized the importance of hard work, education, and giving back to my community. I've always held on to those values my whole life. I graduated top 10% in my class in Katy High School outside of Houston. I went to UT Arlington for my undergrad with a few scholarships and financial aid that I could qualify for as an undocumented immigrant. And then I went to SMU Law School here in Dallas. My dad remarried, and it was my stepmom who sponsored my path to citizenship. And in 2013, I became a citizen. That was the same year that I graduated from SMU Law School. And so I went on to practice as a prosecutor here in Dallas County for 8 years. That was the best way that I decided to give back to my community because so many have helped me get to where I am today. I prosecuted major felony crimes, including the backlog of the rape kits. I went on to serve as a legislative liaison for the district attorney in 2019, where I helped reps and senators write and pass criminal justice reform bills. I was a part of the entire legislative session. I went on and I was an advocate for our community for 11 years here in Dallas. I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into this community, and I genuinely felt like I ran out of ways to fight. So I decided my last form of advocacy was to put my name on the ballot. Too many of our voices are ignored, and so our community deserves somebody who is not only a reflection of this rich diversity, which is 54% communities of color, but somebody who has the passion, the dedication, and the experience. And all of this combined has earned me endorsements from the Dallas Morning News, Representative Retta Bowers, who you just heard from, and Representative Victoria Niave Criado. This focus on this community the focus should be on the community. I'm not running against anybody, I'm running for this community. And so I hope that I can earn your support. You can go to alexandrafortexas.com. I appreciate everyone who is here. Thank you so much.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Chris Leal, and I'm running for State House District 114 here in Dallas. I am a Dallas ISD teacher. I'm a Dallas native, union member, a lifelong progressive Democrat, and a proud Tejano whose family's lived in Texas for 300 years. Thank you. I come from a union-built family, and I'm a first-generation college graduate. I got a degree in finance and economics from Texas Tech University. House District 114 is a deep blue district. Dems get about 70% of the vote, and it is a majority-minority district. So it has given the party and the city of Dallas a fantastic opportunity to elect a strong Democrat who will fight for our progressive Texas values and who can represent the diversity of Dallas. This campaign is all about fighting for working Texans and for these progressive values, healthcare, voting rights, education, reproductive rights. It's time, frankly, our public school system is in a crisis. It's being attacked on all sides, and it's time we send some more educators down to Austin to clean up the mess that they've created down there. I am extremely proud to lead the field in endorsements. We have more endorsements than all our competitors combined, from progressive groups, from working Texas and labor groups, from education groups. But now the only endorsement that matters is the voters of Texas House 114. We are really proud to be in this fight. We are really living our values with this campaign. Check us out at lealfortexas.com. Thank you.
Hi, how are you? My name is Kendall Scudder. I am a Democrat running for the State House in District 114. It's a newly drawn district. Downtown Dallas encompasses most of East Dallas. Look, kids like me from towns like I'm from families like mine, we don't end up in the legislature. I grew up in East Texas with lesbian moms. That's how you know I know how to fight. And when I was 11 years old, Republicans were writing bills to take kids like me out of our homes and throw us in foster care. And so when I was 11 years old, I started knocking on doors for Democrats. And in the last 20 years, I have served on every level of party leadership. In 2018, when no Democrat had stood up to run for state senate in 10 years against the most conservative member of the legislature, I filed to run for the state senate against Bob Hall. And I ran into East Texas and argued for women's reproductive health down the barrels of shotguns, and I never backed down from that fight. I overperformed that ballot. By 20 points. But you know how gerrymandering works. We weren't able to get there. But in 2020, when Ken Paxton tried to take away your right to vote by mail, I was the guy who filed the criminal complaint against him for lying to elections officials to try and get that order halted. I believe that this district, which is one of the most democratic districts in Texas, deserves a strong fighter and deserves someone who has been in the trenches fighting with you, not someone who's looking for a new chick on their resume, right? I am someone who has been in the trenches fighting because my family's head was in the guillotine, and if I didn't, we wouldn't have made it out. And so I know that every scapegoat that they throw at us is just another distraction so that you don't look at the fact that our schools used to be the best in the country. Our bridges and roads used to be the envy of the world. But after 20 years of Republican rule in this state, we're lucky if we can flip a light switch and have electricity turned on. I will fight every day to make sure we fully fund our public schools. I will never back down from the fight on voting rights and protecting autonomy over your body and your own reproductive decisions. And I think that I'm uniquely positioned as someone who's worked in affordable housing throughout my career. My partner Carly's a therapist for kids in foster care. As a social service provider, I think I'm uniquely positioned to help overhaul our foster care system in this state, where it has been under federal watch for 7 years, and we've allowed those kids to continue to be put in harm's way. I'm Kendall Scudder. I'm the fighter that House District 114 deserves, and I hope that I can count on your vote on March 1st. Thank you.
I just want to clarify, so we're inserting another speaker, and here he had asked to speak, but his name is D.C. Caldwell. He's running for State Board of Education 11, but I feel like we need to clarify something else too, that he also filed to run on the Republican ballot. You have 1 minute, sir.
Welcome in.
I'm the only State Board of Education candidate here according to the list that I saw. We've heard a lot about speaking for education. I'm a teacher certified in math, science, social studies, English language arts, and reading, special education, and physical education. I used to live in Northwest Dallas, and a part of District 11 is in Northwest Dallas County. I am running for several reasons. The one that I believe should resonate the most is that we have a failure of leadership, because one of the most fundamental roles of a leader is to mentor a protege. Groom and train someone to step up and fill your place rather than trying to hold on to an office for more than 20 years when theoretically you have a 4-year term. We do need to get out Pat Hardy, who has basically stagnated, been in there too long, and failed to perform that basic function of leadership. I think the timer just went off.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, we're going to be starting on judges, but if you like what you're hearing, seeing all these candidates, we will post a recording of this session on the ndtdw.com site. It won't be up till tomorrow or the next day, but if you want to have your friends look at it, feel free. Okay, our next race is District Judge 192.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria Sevis, and I'm running for the 192nd Civil District Court. This is an open bench. Judge Craig Smith was on this bench, and he went up on the Court of Appeals in 2020. So after consulting with some of our civil judges, some of who are personal mentors of mine, they motivated me to run for this open bench. I was born in Mexico City, moved to the US when I was 2.5 years old, grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I went to SMU for undergrad and SMU for law school, and I'm an award-winning civil litigator that has been practicing in Dallas for the past 9 years. I've interned and worked for one of our civil district court judges, and I'm intimately familiar with our civil district courts here in Dallas County. I'm running on a platform of fairness, access, and efficiency. I've been endorsed by State Senator Royce West, Representative Rafael Anchia, Representative Victoria Niave, Commissioner Dr. Elba Garcia, among other elected officials. I've been endorsed by Stonewall, North Texas Asian Democrats, Lake Highlands White Rock Democrats, Preston Hollow Democrats, MABA, Dallas County Tejano Democrats, and the 23rd Senatorial District Tejano Democrats. And I would be honored to have your support. Maria Aceves for the 192nd. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy M. Shelby, and I'm running for the 192nd Civil District Court. Experience matters. Experience matters. On this bench, experience matters. I have been practicing law almost 23 years in civil litigation transactional. I have an MBA from Tufts School of Business at Dartmouth. I have a master's in law in Securities and Financial Regulation from Georgetown University Law Center. I clerked for 2 federal judges. I also have taken companies from public to private in the real estate investment trust area. When I take the bench on March the 1st, I will be your people's choice. I will bring my experience to the bench. I will be ready to go on day 1. I will be the candidate that will be able to understand everything that comes on the bench because I have worked multiple areas of civil litigation. Tracy M. Shelby, 192 for judge. Experience matters in this case. Go to my website, support me, and I am your people's choice for judge. Thank you.
A little bit of break in the order. Charlie Gearing was here, and he's for 114.
Good afternoon, everybody. I apologize for being late. I've been out knocking doors with my team all day today. But hello, I'm Charlie Gearing. I'm an attorney and proud lifelong Democrat, running to represent the 114th Texas State House District in East Dallas and downtown Dallas. I'm running for this seat to build on my record of service to this community over the past 11 years. You see, I've been working with our unhoused population, our neighbors experiencing homelessness. I've also fought to bring more free legal services to my neighbors in need, and I've also fought to make a more inclusive Dallas for our LGBTQ plus neighbors. In Austin, I will work first and foremost to roll back the most dangerous and restrictive abortion law in the country, SB 8. In addition, we'll fix our power grid so we don't have to roll the dice every winter by diversifying our power sources to more renewable energy like wind, solar, and hydro energy. We want to expand Medicaid so we can address the maternal mortality crisis, as Texas suffers not just one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the country, but in the world, and that is unacceptable in our new Texas, our better Texas that we're going to build together. And I'm also going to stand up to the senseless bullying of transgender and LGBTQ plus folks here in Texas, kids and their families specifically. You see, I've got the skills to get the job done. I'm a commercial litigator who works with people that disagree with them every single day. And not only that, I have a record of getting things done with people that may not agree with me at first. You see, in 2019, as the president of the Dallas Association of Young Lawyers, I led the historic charge to give the Dallas LGBT Bar Association a full sister bar voting seat on our board of directors. That was the first time that that had ever been done in the state of Texas by any bar association in the state of Texas. And moreover, I did it working with Republicans, which is what we're going to have to do down in Austin. And so I asked for your vote in early voting that starts in 8 days and on March 1st. I ask you to visit us at gearingfortexas.com and on all major social media channels at Gearing for Texas. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for making time for me in the order. Thank you.
We know it's hard, the candidates are doing a lot, and so we're trying to accommodate. Okay, now we're moving on to District Judge 204.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tammy Kemp. I'm your elected judge of the 204th Judicial District Court, where I currently preside over a felony bench. You elected me in 2014. I took the bench in 2015. We were one of the worst performing courts in Dallas County. We've gone from worst to being one of the top performing and have remained there for the past 7.5 years. When I ran for this office the first time, I told you that I would be accountable to the public, that I would be compassionate towards victims, and that I would be fair to the accused. I've done that. I've kept my promises. Another thing that I've done since I've served on this court is to preside over our felony domestic violence court. We have partnered with community partners to make sure these young offenders get batterers intervention and prevention, and also become gainfully employed so that we can change the dynamics in their families and throughout Dallas County. I'm asking for your vote again. I would like to continue my service to you, and thank you to this organization for putting this wonderful forum together so that you could all get to know who we are. Thank you very much, and please keep Kemp.
Our next candidate is for District Judge 256.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm a top-performing Democratic family court judge in Dallas County. I've been the judge for 15 years. I'm on my 16th year. You probably don't see me very much because the last time I had an opponent was 12 years ago. The last bar poll ratings, I received a 92% approval rating overall. 92% in the last bar poll rating. For the past 10 years, my bar poll ratings have been over 90%. I'm a top-performing family court judge. I've received every endorsement of any Democratic group that's given them during this race. My opponent can run against a qualified judge, an unqualified judge, or a mediocre judge, and she chose to run against me. I think this is an easy call. I'm the best candidate for this position, and I ask you to give me your confidence, re-elect me, Judge David Lopez, for the 256 Family Court Bench. Thank you very much.
Our next candidate is for District Judge of the 282nd. And can I remind people, please, I know it's uncomfortable, but could you please keep your masks on? I mean, some people were critical of us for having an event, but we said we're going to require masks, and the hotel requires masks, so I'd appreciate it if you keep your masks on. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Andy Chatham, and I look familiar because I was elected judge in 2006 as a Democrat, and again in 2010 as a Democrat. We ran on change in 2006 because a change was needed. Well, unfortunately, change in the 282nd is needed again. My voter guide page 28, spells it out very well, I think. But the keys to this court are the fact that the public defenders have been removed from the court. The judge does not show up to work every day. Instead, it is all by Zoom, which creates a real problem when you're trying to treat people with drug addiction, trying to treat people who are on probation, because they can't come to court and tell you you're having problems if you're a remote judge. I've been endorsed by the Dallas Morning News in the past, Committee for a Qualified Judiciary, and again, I was endorsed by you in 2006 and 2010. Andy Chatham, lifelong Democrat. Thank you.
Our next is criminal judge, court number 6. I don't believe either candidate is here, but Judge Mulder let us know that she was attending a funeral and she would try to get here before the end of the forum. So if she can make it, we'll put her on. Okay, moving on to criminal district attorney. We're going to play a video from You know, if any of you people would like to volunteer for one of our clubs and have like audio, visual, or technical skills, we would obviously love it.
Who's
And after this video, we'll hear from Elizabeth Frizzell.
We'll start it over. Here it is. Okay, here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm John Christopher with Dallas County District Attorney. I've kept my promise to make Dallas safer and improve fairness and effectiveness of the criminal justice system. The reforms and policy changes are the decision not to prosecute first-time misdemeanor marijuana possession is unclogged the system of thousands of non-violent persons, so police can focus on violent crime. Creating the Dallas County Deflex program to help the mentally ill and homeless has taken a huge burden off of law enforcement and reduced jail population for that very vulnerable population and saving taxpayer money at the same time. To give you an idea of some of the other things we've done, my office drafted and sought legislative help that did milestones. What does that mean? It means for the first time in the history of Texas that the police follow this all throughout Texas. They are not required to follow the evidence that goes along with it. What difference does that make? All of the evidence is available. The evidence showing guilt and innocence is available from the beginning, and it doesn't jeopardize someone's freedom as they go to trial. We've also held bad police actors accountable. Getting conviction, for example, on the Amber Guyger case and investigating police brutality against protesters. So, what's the bottom line? Everything that we said was true. Number one, we kept our promises. Number two, we said focus on violent crime. And I'd like to let you know we've done our murder conviction rate is up, the reportable rate is down. Same thing on child abuse cases. And what else? Arrests are down in the city of Dallas by 5%. What does that prove? Focusing on violent criminals and where they commit their crimes is really the way to keep the community safe. Not pulling over our children for traffic stops like marijuana. And I'm asking you for your support so that we can keep doing good work that's been recognized nationally that what we're doing here in Dallas County is important. Thank you, and I look forward to your support.
Bob, can you get the list?
Okay, let's see, where's my timekeeper? That's how much time I have left.
Yes, I'm giving you an extra time.
Okay, very good. I don't wanna go over my time. Thank you all so much to the North Texas Democratic Women for having this event and allowing us to speak to you today. I'm a member of the organization, have been for many years. I'm Judge Elizabeth Davis Frizzell, and I'm running for Dallas County District Attorney. I've been practicing criminal law for the past 29 years. I've been a judge for 20 of those years on every level other than the appellate level. Some of you know me from last time. I ran for district attorney in 2018. I came very, very close. I got 49.999%. I lost by 589 votes. And my goal is not to lose by a little bit this time, but to win by a lot.
And we can do that in 3 ways. I'm running for 3 reasons. I want to bring unity to Dallas County, to the criminal justice system. I want to have transparency to you as a voter, to know what I'm doing in the district attorney's office. And I want to have accessibility so you can get to me to know and understand my policies, so that I bring all the department heads together before I start any policy, so I understand how it affects all the different divisions that would have to help me implement the policy and how it affects Dallas County. First of all, unity. The district attorney's office is only one part of the criminal justice system. There are judges, there are police officers, probation officers, there are sheriffs, bailiffs, public defenders, free world lawyers, prosecutors. I want everyone to come together so we can work in unity toward a goal. I do want to make some revisions to the theft policy. I'm asked about that all the time as I speak during my campaign. I do understand the current DA's goal to decriminalize the homeless, but what I want to do is identify who is homeless and make sure that people feel free to call the police on any crime so that they can be safe. And if we identify that someone is homeless, I want to start Dallas County's homeless diversion program so that we can get them into a program to give them help. I have businesses, agencies ready to partner with me to give them food, to give them housing, to get them a job skills. That helps them to not come back and reoffend. And what I'm hearing is that there are many times people are reoffending on the theft policy. So I want to change that so it's most effective for Dallas County. Accessibility. It's important that you can get to me. I'm around all the time at so many events that you can't count them. And that's important to me because I have so many voters come up to me to understand what are the policies that you plan to implement in the office, and I'll make sure you have access to me. Transparency, I'll put my stats on my website so you'll know how I'm improving during the first 100 days. And from then on until I finish my first term, Judge Elizabeth Davis Frizzell, your next district attorney.
Okay, Judge County Court of Law number 1. I don't believe Demetria Benson is here, so LaDouglas Johnson, go ahead.
Hello, thank you guys for coming out today. My name is LaDouglas Johnson, and I intend to take Dallas County Court at Law number 1 from worst to first. I've been practicing law for 22 years. I earned my bachelor's in economics from Duke University and my law degree from SMU, and I've been volunteering all over Dallas County ever since. I won the Volunteer of the Year Award in 2016 and the Social Justice Award in 2017. I most recently served as commissioner on the Dallas City Planning Commission and the Zoning Ordinance Advisory Committee. I was drafted to run for this bench because I am a fixer and I am a hard worker. In 2021, the Dallas Bar Judicial Evaluation Poll ranked County Court at Law number 1 dead last in 6 out of 6 measures, including preparedness, timeliness, impartiality, knowledge of the law, proper temperament, and overall performance. Unfortunately, this performance was not limited to 2021, as County Court at Law number 1 has ranked dead last in every such evaluation on every measure from 2009 all the way to 2021. My name is LaDouglas Johnson, and I ask you to join me in our mission to take County Court at Law number 1 from worst to first. Thank you.
Okay, our next candidate will be Judge for County Court of Law number 3, and the first candidate is Sally Montgomery.
Good afternoon, I'm Judge Sally Montgomery. I'm Judge of County Court of Law number 3. I'm your longest serving civil trial judge. I'm your longest serving first elected Democrat. Started Leadership Council and began the Blue Wave. And I am the most endorsed of all the judges by attorneys, civil trial and appellate attorneys. I'm the mother, single mother of a very expensive college kid. And I am a former nominated Teacher of the Year for Thomas Jefferson High School teacher. I have 3 science degrees as well as accepted to med school and went to law school and had a 4.0. I bring my classroom into the courtroom. Everybody gets to freely speak, but they don't get interrupted. I help the mediation law get passed through the legislature. Everybody gets to mediate. And I've got business cases that are like ready to go that are 4 months long. The biggest ones in the
entire country right now. They need me, and that's why I'm being endorsed by so many attorneys. I guess I'm out. Look at page 32. Thank you.
And our next candidate is Misty Mosteller. And would all the judge candidates be ready to come up so we can keep this moving?
Good afternoon. The Dallas Bar anonymous attorney polls are an inconvenient truth for my opponent and for Dallas County, because what it shows is that County Court 3 has been getting bad reviews from the attorneys who practice in it for 2 decades. And it's time for a change. I've been a defense attorney for 22 years with DeHay and Elliston. I'm a certified mediator. I'm licensed to practice and do practice in 3 different states. I've spent my career as a strong advocate for my clients without totally disavowing the other side. I've been able to keep my clients happy while making great relationships with opposing counsel, and that's why I'm endorsed by both plaintiff and defense attorneys. I have a reputation of being fair, honest, and hardworking. Dallas deserves a judge that cares about the law and people. And no one's going to leave my court feeling disrespected or mistreated based on any type of race, religion, gender, economic status, or whether you're a plaintiff or a defendant. I have the skills and character that we need in County Court 3, and I ask for your vote and your support, and you can learn more about me at MissyMosteller.com. Thank you.
Okay, Judge, County Court of Law number 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Diane Jones, and I'm running for Judge of County Court at Law number 4. I've had 32 years of experience. My sheet is on page 33. I ask that you read it. I have been here since '86. I came here to go to law school. I've attended the University of Texas at Austin undergrad and SMU Law School. I have been a Democrat. I have been a Republican. I was a judge of a court in Dallas County as a Republican, and I have switched to become a Democrat. Why? Because I want to be on the right side of history. As we've seen across this country, the voter suppression, the January 6th event, that is why I've switched parties, and that is why I'm running for office, because I believe I'm a qualified judge. These benches come up every 4 years, and you have a right to decide who will sit on these benches. Nobody owns the bench and is entitled to it just because they had it before. I didn't make those rules, the legislature did. So I'm asking you to choose me as Diane Jones for Judge of County Court at Law number 4. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Next is Paula Rosales.
Getting my COVID protection attire off. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Judge Paula Rosales, your presiding judge of County Court at Law number 4. I have been, over the past 3 years, working vigilantly to make my court more open, accessible, and equitable for all, regardless of their financial status or their English-speaking abilities. And I look forward to continuing this work. I believe that the community has benefited from my work. Unfortunately, I am running against a lifelong Republican who just recently threw her hat to run in our Democratic primary. And as recently as 2020, she voted in the Republican primary. So I presume that she ran and that she voted, for Donald J. Trump. Now, I will always follow the rule of law, but I do believe that a judge's previous experience and morals do affect certain areas. And my democratic principles guide my decisions in making decisions more fair and equitable. I am asking for your support not only because I am the true Democrat in this field, but also because I am the most qualified to continue to work in Dallas County Court at Law Number 4. And please push for Paula at the polls. Thank you all for your time.
Okay, Judge, County Court of Law, number 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juan Renteria. I am your current judge for County Court at Law Number 5. Let me tell you how I got here. There was a vacancy left by Judge Greenberg, who retired earlier this year. I was appointed by the Dallas County Commissioners Court, where several people were invited to apply, including my opponent. Eventually, the Dallas County Commissioners Court chose me. They chose me specifically because of my prior experience as a city judge and for my service to the community. In fact, immediately prior to serving as the judge, I was actually on the school board for Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD. I'd been there for almost a year. Since being appointed, I have been recognized as the most efficient court of all county courts. I have garnered the support of the community and I've implemented changes that will help citizens access our courts. Now, I am not saying I am the best candidate. I'm showing that I'm the best candidate. Vote for Juan is a vote for justice, and you can get more information about me at voteforjuan.com. Thank you.
Okay, next, Judge County Criminal Court, Court number 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Dan Patterson. I'm your judge in County Criminal Court number 1, where I was elected first in 2006 when I was part of the big group who worked hard to turn Dallas County blue. I'm very proud of that accomplishment. I'm also proud of the work I've done in the meantime. Since I've been on the bench, during my tenure, I've been amongst the highest rated of all the judges surveyed in the periodic poll of the Dallas Bar Association, including their most recent one. I've also been recently honored with the highest ratings of the Dallas Criminal Defense Lawyers poll as one of the highest rated judges in the criminal courthouse. I grew up in Pleasant Grove. I'm a DISD kid. My parents were working class people. My dad was a union pipe fitter, and that's my first political memories. Were going to the Union Hall with him to build yard signs for people like Jim Maddox, Ann Richards, and Martin Frost. It's important to be a good judge. It's important to me to be a good Democrat. If those things are important to you as well, please consider voting for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Judge County Criminal Court number 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angel Mata. You can find my information on page 36. I'm running for County Criminal Court number 4. I'm running on the platform of compassion, fairness, and experience. I am by far the most qualified for this position. I've been an attorney for 12 years, practicing almost exclusively criminal law. I was a prosecutor for the first 4 years, working a great deal in the family violence court. And for the last 8, I've had my own practice, practicing just criminal law. In addition to that, I have been an appointed judge for the last 7 years as an associate municipal judge. So I have the experience as a prosecutor, as a defense attorney, as well as a judge. I'm a Pleasant Grove native from Dallas County, went to DISD schools. I have marched on the footsteps of Austin. I have gone out to the community and done career fairs. And I do think that my civil work, my civic engagement speaks for itself. Go online, www.voteforangelmata.com for County Criminal Court number 4. Thank you.
Okay, Judge County Criminal Court number 10.
Good afternoon. My name is Monique Bracy Huff, and I'm running for judge of Dallas County Criminal Court number 10, a family violence court. You can find my information on page 37 of your voter guide. I've said continually, justice delayed is justice denied. I'm running in a race that literally has 2 Democratic candidates challenging the incumbent. I'm going for equity for the individuals that are sitting in jail, not getting services. There are private attorneys who charge 2 to 3 times more for services in this court because of the inefficiency of this court. We've got to bring services to our victims. We've got to bring closure on these cases so that our victims get justice, as well as we've got to pay attention to those individuals that are accused of these family violence crimes. I want to bring programs into this courtroom. I want to bring batterers intervention prevention classes. I want to bring anger management classes. I want to start teaching individuals new ways of dealing with their frustration so they start to make new choices. I want to impact domestic violence in our community, and I really believe that this is my way of making that impact. I ask that you review my information in the voter guide. I ask that you go to my website. I've got some lovely ladies in the back with my materials. Monique J. Bracy Huff for Dallas County Criminal Court number 10. Thank you.
Okay, probate court number 2.
Howdy. Good afternoon. My name is Ingrid Warren, and I am running for re-election for probate court number 2. I would love your support in my endeavors to run for re-election. Here's why I'm asking you to vote for me. When I first ran for this seat in 2015, I ran because I believe that grieving families need a calm voice to help them navigate the life stresses at a time that they need it the most. Also, I believe that it is important for courts to work for people. And this court, more than any other court, is necessary to help people transition well from one generation to the next. It can impact your life in a major way. And let me tell you now why experience matters. Experience matters because while I've been on the bench, we have served more families than any of the other 3 probate courts, any other 3 all total probate courts. We have served more families by signing more orders and also by increasing the staff that's there at the court in order to be able to handle the needs of Dallas County. As I stated, there are only 3 of us, so there are a lot of us there. And it is my belief that with your support and with your help, we can move the courts forward and make structural changes in the courts so that we have 4 courts in order to be able to help all of Dallas County citizens. Our neighbor to the north, Denton County, as small as they are compared to us, they have 2 probate courts. They just got their 2nd in the last legislative session. So I need your help to go forward to continue to fight for that and to make sure that we can keep a calm voice there in order to help grieving families. Thank you very much for your support. Again, I'm Ingrid Warren, and for those of you all that are fighting Texas Aggies, you recognize that I started with Howdy. And I'm also proud to say that I'm a graduate from University of Texas School of Law. Thank you.
Our next race is for district clerk, and the first candidate up will be Amy Thompson Hollins.
Good evening. My name is Amy Thompson Hollins, your choice for change in the Dallas County District Clerk's office. I am running to put the District Clerk's office under new management. A manager that will address the backlog of e-file cases, a manager that will address staffing concerns by filling positions with qualified, experienced candidates and not show any bias in hiring or promoting. I am running to put the office under new management, a manager who will address the needs of the citizens to ensure that there is no delay in e-filing, whether that be a 1-day delay, whether that be a 72-hour delay, no delays in e-filing. That is justice for the citizens of Dallas County. Again, I'm Amy Thompson Hollins, your choice for change in the Dallas County District Clerk's office. You can find me on social media, just put in #ElectAmy. Thank you for your time and thank you for this platform.
And our next candidate is Felicia Petrie.
Hello, everyone. I am Felicia Petrie. I am the district clerk for Dallas County. 1 minute doesn't give me enough time to tell you all the wonderful things that I'm doing for Dallas County. Anyway, the district clerk is responsible for all the court documents. We are current with our e-filings. We are current with all of the exciting things that we do in the district clerk's office. John Warren and I are currently working on a new case management system for our criminal courts. We're looking to pilot a new program with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for electronic pen packets. This will increase our resulting sending individuals out of jail, costing less money for Dallas County, so we're able to move individuals out of jail. Also electronic e-search warrants. We're working with the constable's office to submit our returns electronically. So digitizing our records is important to us. The district clerk's office are public servants. We're here to serve you. I'm proud of my record, and I ask for your support again. In the next election, I'll be up for my 3rd term, and I'm honored to serve as your district clerk. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much for your time.
Our next race is for county clerk, and John Warren will be speaking.
Good afternoon, North Dallas Democrats. I just had a question in the back. Someone said, what does the county clerk do? The county clerk is the custodian of records for Dallas County. When I took office in 2007, all of the county records were paper records. I have converted all of those records into a digitized format so that the citizens of Dallas County can access those records. I have digitized over 750 million records, and all those are accessible to the citizens of Dallas County. What does that mean? That means when the pandemic hit, we were able to continue to conduct business so that the judges will be able to prosecute cases, and so that the Commissioner's Court can continue to access. We're able to continue to file documents electronically in property records. But one of my biggest reasons for running for re-election is to address property fraud. That's one of my biggest elections, as well as to prepare Dallas County for the new normal that we will be facing as it relates to once we get out of the pandemic. To learn more about my campaign, go to JohnWarrenCountyClerk.com. Thank you very much.
And next we have race for County Commissioner number 2. And we'll start with Tom Urban.
Hi, I'm Tom Irvin, and I'm running for Dallas County Commissioner, District 2. So for the past 5 years, I've been all over this county supporting Democratic candidates and Democratic issues. Why do I tell you that? Why is it important for me to show up at events, seminars, neighborhood meetings, and at your front door? Because I believe that it sends a signal that our voice, which will be represented by me, is heard, and you will know that I am out there fighting for the issues that matter most to you. I'm also going to have fresh ideas on how we're going to solve the problems that will affect your everyday lives. But I want to also tell you why I am best suited to be your next county commissioner. I have the professional experience to be the person that makes sure that I've got acquisition, divestiture, merger experience. Those are the kinds of transactions if we're going to build public partnerships and coalitions to address the real needs that are in our county, which are public health care, affordable housing, and public child care. You know, we had a really great response by our county commissioner and Clay Jenkins when COVID came to town. But I can't help but notice that we have had an ongoing pandemic of poverty that is exhibited by the fact that we have zip codes in our county that have a life expectancy of 10 years less than most of the residents in our county. Those are the issues that I'm going to fight for. We need to make sure that if our children's future is not determined by the fact of where they live, do they have access to health care, their race, religion, and if they have disabilities. The county government can be the catalyst for change in Dallas, and I want to be there to help lead us on these issues that matter most to the folks that we live with. So thank you for your time.
Our next candidate is Philip Kingston.
Hey y'all, I'm Philip Kingston. I'm very appreciative that you all would hold this large forum and spend the time you're spending to understand these races. It's really great to see good Democrats participate in this process in this way. I'm running for the County Commissioner's Court as the only candidate, very much including the incumbent, who has the record and experience to deliver on day one for Dallas County residents and who has a proven track record of standing up and fighting for democratic values. I would like very much for you all to visit me at kingstonfordallas.com, our website. I would like to know who you are and know what your questions are. That's the way that I can do the best job of representing you. You're also going to see when you go there a list of endorsers, including about 30 Democratic elected officials. You're going to see precinct chairs by the dozen, and you're going to see neighborhood association leaders and people you know. And that's because they know I've been there for them when they needed me. Now I need them and I need you. So if you all will please interact with us, engage with the campaign. We're having a lot of fun out there, and I'd like for you all to come have fun with me. Thank you.
Okay, and our next candidate is Andrew Summerman.
My name is Andrew Summerman. I'm running for County Commissioner number 2. I'm a Democrat. I'm a lifetime Democrat. Some of you may know me. I am the attorney who represents Clay Jenkins in his litigation against the governor and J.J. Koch. Before I was ever involved as an attorney, I was also a person who was involved in local government. I'm a former assistant city manager for a small town here in North Texas called Pantego. I was also a congressional investigator. I was the person who went and tried to root out fraud and economies and efficiencies in our federal government. Now lately I've been involved in voter protection. As some of you may know, I was the attorney who fought against voter ID. As you may know, voter ID has very little to do with people who don't have ID. It has to do with women. And the reason why it has something to do with women is because when a woman gets married or divorced, she may choose to change her name, and the voting rolls do not catch up with them. As we all know, women are smarter than men, and as a result, they vote more Democratic than men do. And as a result, it had a direct effect upon the democracy that we have before us. I am the attorney for the Mexican American Legislative Caucus in their fight against the current Republican redistricting plan. I want to be your voter protection lawyer on this Commissioner's Court, and the reason why is because the Commissioner's Court is the one that runs the elections. I want to make sure that the ballot box is protected, because the next area they're coming for is to decide whose vote counts. I want to be there. I want to be able to protect that vote. Put me in, coach. Give me the ball. Thank you.
Okay, the next race is JP, Precinct 2, Place 1.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Garcia Williams. I am running for Precinct 2-1, and you will find me on the guide on page 47, I believe. I am here today to let you know I'm running for this position because I'm the most qualified candidate on the ballot. I am an attorney, been licensed almost 12 years, but first and foremost, to get to this path in my life, I was a teenage mother that worked throughout high school, throughout my bachelor's degree, master's degree, and my law degree. I have a bachelor's in business administration, a JD from Texas Wesleyan University, and an MBA from Texas Women's University. I did all this while being a single mother. I started a small law firm 12 years ago to help the community that I live in Southeast Dallas. I have represented and helped clients from within the community, private citizens, and I decided it was time to step up and go to the bench and try to help people in the public sector. I am the most experienced, the most qualified. You can learn more about me at GarciaWilliams4JP.com. Thank you so much.
Okay, our next candidate is JP Precinct 4, Place 1, Mike Jones.
Hey, good afternoon, how you doing? I am Judge Mike Jones. I'm the current Justice of Peace for Precinct 4, Place 1. Precinct 4 covers the cities of Carrollton, City Hill, Copp Hill, Irving, Grand Prairie. All right, so one of the biggest things when I came in office is criminal justice reform, and I delivered on that. One of the biggest things is I actually have juvenile truancies and at-risk youth that actually come into my court. So I've created a team court program for those particular individuals. I noticed that there was a severe backlog of several small cases. Actually, my court brought on-site mediations for a mediation pinwheel program. So we have on-site mediators to help settle your cases before you get to a judge. Noticing that there's a rise in evictions in the nation. I've actually held an eviction release seminar with over 120 individuals online and in person for landlords and tenants to make sure that we have additional resources. No, or not, Dallas County has over $50 million sitting in a pot somewhere. So let's try to encourage individuals to spend that money and keep families in their homes. Also working in conjunction with the county clerk's office, in which they can actually help with appeal bonds for individuals that are actually having appeal from the cases. But please check out my achievements at judgemikejones.com. I would love to have your support for re-election, all right, for re-election.
Okay, JP Precinct 5, Place 2. Okay. You remember earlier I told you that Judge Mulder wanted to be here, but she had to go to a funeral, but she is here with us now, so we're going to give her time to talk to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nancy Mulder, and I am currently judge of County Criminal Court number 4 in Dallas. I have been judge there for 8 years. I have filed to run for an open felony bench, Criminal District Court number 6. It is my desire to take my 26 years of practicing criminal law here in Dallas, first as a prosecutor for 12 years, then as a defense attorney for 8, and now I'm in my 8th year as a judge. I want to take all that experience up to the felony court. You can check me out on my website, www.judgemulder.com. In my first term on this bench, I reduced the pending court caseload by 41%. I have prosecuted and defended everything up and through capital murder. And I have been a staunch Democrat, precinct chair, have block walked, phone banked in every primary, gubernatorial, and presidential election since 2011. Thank you very much.
Okay, don't leave. We have a couple more candidates, and I hear that Mike Collier is in the house, so. Okay.
I am heading back to a celebration of life, so I wanted to come by. This was very important to me, but our dear friend passed away, a heart attack at 53, so I hope that you all will please exercise, get your physicals, and
Okay, Constable, Precinct 2, Bill Gibson.
Good evening, my name is Constable Bill Gibson. I represent the eastern side of Dallas County, Garland, Mesquite, Raleigh, Saxon, Centerville, and East Dallas. And so I come before you today asking for your support for re-election. I've been serving you for the last 3 years as your elected constable. Prior to that, I worked in the Dallas County District Attorney's Office as a felony investigator, and I worked at the Sheriff's Department as well here in Dallas County. Since being elected, I vowed that we will become more of an integral part of the community, and since that we have done that. We build partnerships with the Dallas County Sheriff's Department Auto Theft Task Force. We've also built partnerships with the Garland ISD Safety and Security Team Intrusion Program, working with them inside the Garland ISD. We've also increased our female representation in our office by 33.5%. We've increased our bilingual representation, as well as hired Asian Americans to work in our office too. We want to make sure that we built the office and a staff that represent the community that we serve. And so thank you all for all your support. You can find me at billgibson.com. Thank you all.
We have one more candidate for Dallas County Constable Precinct 3. Henry Curry.
Good afternoon. I am Henry Curry, your candidate for Dallas County Council Precinct 3. I have served the citizens of Dallas County for 25 years, most recently in the capacity as Assistant Chief. As Assistant Chief, I oversaw daily operations, training, and staff management. I also assisted in budget preparation and audit compliance. I am the only candidate with experience in every facet of the constable's office. I've worked civil, warrants, traffic, writ enforcement, where I seized and sold property to satisfy judgments. I've also been a training coordinator, deputy, sergeant, and assistant chief. Please review my website at curryforconstable.com. Look at my platform, review my credentials and my experience. I appreciate your support and your vote. Again, curryforconstable.com. I am Henry Curry. And remember to hurry and go down the ballot and vote for Curry. Thank you.
And now, someone who I doubt needs much introduction to this crowd, who's running for Lieutenant Governor, Mike Collier.
Well, thank you. I'm part of the cabal that's going to take down Dan Patrick. Is that a great thing? Well, I'm delighted to see you. You know, I ran against him last time. We came close. And when I stepped away from that campaign, I said I'm going to put everything I've got into making sure that the next lieutenant governor is a Democrat. Are you with me on that? It has to be a Democrat. When you think about what they did with redistricting and how Republicans think they have 10 years of unaccountability to us, they can't redistrict the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, and on down the line. We must win, and we must beat Dan Patrick, who I think is the worst lieutenant governor in the history of the state. And I don't have to say much more about him. Don't want to ruin your day. I'll just say this. Folks ask me how this campaign's going. I tell them 8 years in and 9 months to go. And I mean it. That's how determined I am. And I'm pleased to say, as I travel around the state, and we talk about public education, we talk about property taxes, we talk about criminal justice reform, we talk about fixing the damn grid, we talk about a woman's right to choose, we talk about LGBT community rights. We are in the majority point of view. Democrats should hold our head high. Texans agree with us. And the problem is that our politics are held in the grip of a zealous party that does not represent us who we are as Texans. Do you agree? And all we have to do is release ourselves from their grip. And then we'll start to see a Texas where we feel great about the politics as opposed to horrified about the politics. And that's the job that we're in as Democrats. And if you've ever felt a sense of urgency, we feel a great sense of urgency, because the other side will disable democracy if they have to stay in power, and we are not going to let them do that. Do you agree? I say to so many people, the state is turning purple. You cannot change the course of a mighty river. It will happen. Democrats will win statewide. But we have to do it now, because people are hurting, and they'll disable democracy if they have to. And so this is more of a pep talk than anything else. I can tell you I am fired up, putting 24/7 into this to make sure the next lieutenant governor is a Democrat. I hope it's me, but whether it's me or whether somebody else is honored with this nomination, I can tell you that I'm going to put absolutely every bit of energy and burn up one more pickup truck to beat that scoundrel, and I hope that you'll help me beat Dan Patrick. Mike Collier, for Lieutenant Governor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We do have one video. Yes. And I would also, we have extra voters guides and programs. If you want to take programs or the voters guide for your friends so they know who's running, please take some extras, hand them out, and remind people that they can watch this on ndtdw.com. The replay will be on there. And the Facebook, it'll be on the Facebook page too? Okay.
It's been live streaming on Facebook.
Okay, it'll be live streamed on Facebook too.
It has been.
It has been.
Hi all, I hope you've enjoyed what we've got. We've got one more presentation here. Yes, one more presentation. And as the guy who is responsible for writing the checks for all this, just want to remind you, if you have an opportunity and a desire, we'll be very happy to take your donation to help pay for the hotel. Thank you.
Have you ever heard of Build Back Better? That's what we want to do here in the great state of Texas. My name is Michael, and I want to be the next governor of this great state of Texas. I know that we've had some trying times here over the past year and a half. We want to change it, and we're going to use the bill to build Texas back better. We're going to start off with education, because in that bill, I've read it, and I've read about pre-K, and that's something that we need. I learned as a young man that if you educate your children at a young age, they can learn multiple languages, they can grasp math better, we can make sure that we have STEM ready students, we can make sure that we're ready for 6th, 7th, 8th grade, so by the time they're in the 9th grade, we have vocational skills, they are ready for work at the age of 18. Imagine this, someone that has a certificate to be a master technician at the age of 18 years of age, they're now paying into the system instead of being part of the system. Do you not understand that when we have education reform, that is bail reform? Because they're not participating in the system, they're putting it back into the system. Somebody said, well, when I grow old, Social Security will not be there. Well, imagine having students at 17, 18 years of age that's helping that single parent out, that's putting money into their homes instead of being a burden on that mother. These are the things we need to do in this great state of Texas. I want to be a governor for 29 million people, not for a select few, not for a party, not for a group, but for the entire state of Texas. I'm Michael Cooper, and I approve this message.
Okay, that ends our program for this afternoon. All of the clubs who put this together, thank you for taking your Sunday afternoon to come and hear. Get your friends out to vote. We need people voting. So either early vote or March 1st.